Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on how to improve your app's AI visibility. AI visibility is a super interesting and exciting topic. And I'm very excited for Simon to join me here, which I'm sure many of you know very well, and he doesn't need a big introduction. But for those that would like to know a little bit more, Simon, go ahead. Quickly introduce
Thanks.
yourself.
So hello to everyone joining us as well. And as probably at least some people in the chat know, I'm head of ASO and Market Insights. So I've been basically in and around our consultancy team at AppTweak for almost 7 years, and obviously recently deep diving into AI visibility as it's been an important topic for our clients for already about a year now, I would say, and we've very recently seen Google make big announcements, and we might actually speak about that at some point today.
To get started with everyone, we wanted to get started with a quick poll on AI visibility. Just to understand a bit, well, where are you at with AI visibility today? So we'll just take a little time to get the results in. So the question is, if ChatGPT were recommending an app in your category right now, what do you think it's relying on most? Let's just see a few more people answering. So I'll take a few more seconds. And let's see the results. So we'll see. What do you say? Today, you believe that ChatGPT relies the most, 48% on App Store and Google Play listings to understand what your app is about and make a recommendation. Second, we have community forums like Reddit, and then we have your website and web content. We actually have data on this, so Simon will highlight this later in the call, but we have on AppTweak, we have tracked a lot of prompts, thousands of prompts to really understand how apps and games are recommended in LLMs. And so we have this data that we would like to share with you. As everyone is here, let's get started. So what is the goal here today? What is the goal of this webinar today? The goal is really actually to give you a little crash course. Before you really start improving your AI visibility, you need to understand how it works. How do AI LLMs actually formulate answers and decides which apps and games to surface? So we'll start with that, some theory on how it works. Then we would like to provide a framework. So what are the 3 areas of influence that can influence your AI visibility? And then Simon, he will share some experiments. So what can you start today to start working on improving your AI visibility? Now, before we jump in, I just quickly want to highlight a few stats. So today, 56% of global search activity is now already through AI assistance. However, only 6% of app marketers have defined an AI search strategy. So we ran a webinar on AI visibility a couple of months ago. And so we asked a poll there and we asked, where are you in your AI visibility? And so the majority of the people were either discovering, researching, brainstorming what to do, and only 6% have defined an AI search strategy. Why is this a problem? Is because it's the future. This is a new discovery channel. It's here, it's happening, and it's ready to get to jump on this and to get on board of this. So today we see that AI search traffic is growing 520% year over year. And we see that AI search traffic, when AI sends traffic to your site, to your app, it converts better. It converts at 30% higher conversion rate than organic search. This makes sense because people who are in ChatGPT, they ask for questions, they form an opinion, and then they go to the App Store. Another poll quickly. So we have another poll. Who currently owns AI visibility at your company? So I'll give you a few seconds to answer. Still see some answers coming in. Okay, let's have a look at the results. Okay, so we see that you shared today that in 40% of the cases, AI visibility is owned by the SEO or the growth team. In 23% of the cases, it's owned by the ASO team. And interesting, only 2% of you shared that you have a dedicated AI or emerging channels role. Let's stop sharing. Now, before we quickly jump in, AppTweak has launched an AI visibility platform for apps and for games. So it's specifically to track how your apps and your games appear in LLMs, in AI-generated answers. And so because we now have this platform, we track thousands of prompts related to how people search for apps and for games. And because of this, we have a lot of data, we have a lot of insights to really understand, well, how are LLMs recommending your apps and games, and what can you do about this? And so the goal of today is to share all that research with you. So the first thing that we need to cover is, okay, how do AI engines decide which apps to recommend? There's two concepts I would like to explain. The first concept is knowledge. So when someone prompts an LLM, they need to draw knowledge from two different sources. The first one is their internal training knowledge. So the LLMs, they are trained on a lot of publicly available data. They are retrained all the time. But so they will first draw from that knowledge to try to formulate an answer. Now, if you ask for a more specific question, or if you ask it to search on the web, it will do a live web retrieval, and then the LLMs, they will look at your App Store listings, they will look at your brand-owned content, your website, they will look at review sites, they will look at community discussions, and they will look at just editorial pages. LLMs love pages like best apps for this, best apps for that, and they will look at information on these pages. Now, it's very important then, and this is new for some apps, and definitely for games where having a web presence was not the main priority in the past. Now with LLMs, it is. Even if you want to make sure that you are included in the LLM's training knowledge, what you have to do is you have to build presence on the web today. You have to be very consistent on your positioning, and you have to be visible. And then if you work on that, you can really work on becoming part of the training knowledge and making sure if they do a live web retrieval that you show up. Second concept I would like to explain is something called query fanout. So basically, when someone makes a prompt in ChatGPT or in Claude, the LLMs, they're going to split this prompt in different subqueries. So they are going to, and then for all of these subqueries, they are going to then do a search in their internal knowledge base or on the web. And then they're going to take all this information, they're going to synthesize this, and they're going to form a response. The reason why they do this is because they want to give you the most complete answer. They want to give you an answer that is going to answer your explicit or implicit intent. And so there's a great example here. So I asked the same question as well. What is the best app for managing finances as a couple? And you can really see that they are trying to give me options depending on what my intent would be. Is my intent just a shared budgeting app? Then they recommend this one. Is my intent to have something simple and visual? Then they recommend this app. Is my intent more net worth and investments? Then they recommend this app. So why is this query fanout so important? You need to make sure that you create content that covers all these subqueries, that covers all these different topics that LLMs are searching for. And so what is then very important to remember based on these two concepts, AI, they don't just recommend apps. They don't recommend the most popular apps. So often in ASO, in SEO, it's if you're a newcomer, if you're a smaller app, it's sometimes hard to compete with the big guys. In ASO, download volume matters a lot. In SEO, domain authority matters a lot. But in LLMs, it's different. They don't really look at these type of signals, and they really look, okay, what is the app that aligns the most close with intent, what people are searching for? Is that intent clear? Are the apps being really clear in describing their intent? Is that consistent across all the sources on the web? And then, can I trust this? Can I trust what this app says about themselves? And they will look at other sources to validate your positioning, your features, what people say, if that's actually correct, if that's true. And then they will make sure, okay, this is the app that I will surface for this certain prompt. We have some early research as well that we want to share. So it relates back to the first poll that we asked. Simon will highlight the research here. But basically, as part of our new platform that we have, we track thousands of prompts related to how apps and how games are surfaced across LLMs. And based on this, we have some very interesting data. So over to Simon now.
Thank you, Alexandra. We started the webinar with a question: what source do people think is most used by AI to surface apps? And we had 48%, so very close to the actual number we found. 47.5% of the sources cited by ChatGPT here specifically, where either so I should specify web pages. These are URLs, but URLs coming from either the App Store domain or the Play Store domain being cited in the answers to queries that relate to specific app-related intent. Something that's also specific about AppTweak's AI visibility tool is that we focus on queries that are likely to drive people from their LLM of choice to an App Store page. So I see there's a question: why does the App Store have a higher percentage here? This is a question we don't fully have the answer to. We have hypotheses. Starting with the fact that it might be that the partnership that exists between OpenAI and Apple has led OpenAI to favor crawling the App Store in the training phase of ChatGPT. It could be that just generally in the overall way ChatGPT was educated, trained about what an app is, it got influenced by the initial promise of Apple. Apple released the App Store, saying there's an app for that, calls it the App Store, not the Play Store. So we don't know for sure why the App Store is overly cited compared to the Play Store, but we do see today the App Store seems to be more frequently cited. Now, of course, if a user were to ask, I want an Android app, very likely the first answer would cite the Play Store instead. For people, marketers wanting to act on this, so what's most important to take out of this slide is to understand that on the one hand, there is no single place to optimize and win. It's always going to be a group of places if you want to maximize your chances. But at the same time, it's essential for people to hear that in general, the stores are the first source of truth for ChatGPT when asked to recommend apps. And that does mean that for all of the people out there who've told us AI is a responsibility of the SEO team, depending on the overall business model, I'm not going to say you have to change it, but you have to build a rapport with your SEO team, because in here, the SEO, like whoever's in charge of AI, will have better success at having AI recommend the app if it's done in sync with the people doing ASO, and particularly looking at the long description for any app, that being basically the consequence of AI favoring text in terms of content. And in terms of text, we know that the long description is where developers have the best option to create a lot of it. If we move to the next slide, we should talk about the differences with games. Games, in fact, when mobile games, I should specify, are cited, uh, they cite the App Store, Play Store, even more than for apps. What I want to call out here is that this is especially important in the sense that most games have thinner web content, or at least proprietary web content. And so it does mean that AI leans even harder on app stores. It also leans much more on community sources. You can see on the slide 5 more times the amount of Wikipedia citations, of Reddit citations when looking at the answers for game-related prompts and for apps. Here, the logic is really that for games teams, first place to optimize is your ASO page, of course, but then there's also a question depending on the resources. Um, if you go with a status quo, you should optimize for community sources first. It might be easier to go for these because a lot of times these are very organic. Like games get more Reddit citations because games are by essence very communitary and therefore discussed on Reddit. At the same time, if you have the means to start building an efficient web presence on your own domain, it's also an option. And this is actually going to be part of the topic for our playbook. It's that at the end of it, the major recommendation is don't leave AI visibility to a single source where you're trying to build. It's remember to cover all your bases and invest particularly where AI gets most of its answers, but never forget about investing in the other channels. If we turn to the next slide, I also want to talk about the notion of citation itself, because citation is what AI gives as a way of backing its claim. So it's an indication of where it learns, but also sometimes it's an indication of where it grounds its answer, not necessarily where the full answer originated. A lot of that can be in the core knowledge, but it's also about where can it ground its answer and validate, oh, if I have to justify my answer, here is the source. This is very important because it starts explaining why is AI mentioning your app first in the top 3, in the top 5, top 10? Like, why is AI going to recommend your app more frequently and in the top apps it recommends or as a lower alternative? What we've observed in our data is that when you look at the apps recommended from position 5, 6, and below, we start seeing fewer citations altogether. So AI doesn't feel like it needs to justify its answer past a certain point, or it doesn't necessarily feel like it has enough context to fully justify the answer past a certain position. That means that for marketers, the opening is understand what drives citations, look at which are the sources that are being cited, look at how the sources align with the intent you want to target, and rework them to maximize your chances of both being identified during the training phase and also cited in the grounding phase, because you might already be identified, but if you're not providing enough text to easily be cited, you're going to be further down in the results. I think that now we should talk about the different actions. So I'm going to throw it back to you, Alexandra, for a little bit. I hope I haven't spoiled too much, but we need to talk about these areas of influence, I guess.
Yes. Yes. So and here we would like to focus, okay, we understand now better how do the LLMs surface apps and games, how do they come up with their answers and their recommendations. Now it's really, okay, what can you do to make sure that you can increase your visibility and appear in those answers. And so there's 3 areas of influence that matter the most for app marketers. So this is really for app and games. And so the first one is your App Store presence. So as we've seen in the data that Simon shared, the LLMs heavily rely on App Store pages to really understand what your app is about, what are the use cases, what are the features, who's it for. Second is owned web presence. So it's your website, it's the content on your website. It's things like also help desks, FAQ on your website, and more. And then it's anything external. External authority, as Simon actually explained already a little bit, they really need to be able to validate their answer. They need to be able to ground their answer. And so they will look at external sources to make sure that this is a credible information and correct. So they look at Reddit, they look at other forums, they look at listicles, they look at publications on websites. So what can you do? If we take the first lever, so it's your App Store presence, there's actually 2 areas that influence LLMs the most, and it's your long description. So the long description, it has long been not the most important assets of an App Store page when it comes to ASO. So it's nice to see that this gets a new dimension, and you can actually probably afford to now optimize this a little bit more for LLM search and not only for ASO. And so what you really have to do is to make sure that your long description is very easy to read and understand by these LLMs. And so what you should do is you should be really clear about what your app does, who is it for, and which problems it solves. And here is a great example from Airalo. They are an eSIM. And so here you can see that they have a dedicated section on their long description about who Airalo is for. Why people should get Airalo, why people love it, and then what it is. So they explain very clearly what it is. Simon will highlight a little bit later as well in one of the experiments some more details about how to optimize our long description, but this is really a great first place to start. Second is reviews. So this is a little bit more theoretical, let's say, but we do believe that reviews are being processed and synthesized at scale by AI and by LLMs. We can see that because both on the App Store and Google Play, there are now AI summaries of reviews, and so these systems are definitely capable of reading and synthesizing and analyzing these reviews. Now, we think that if they can read the reviews, they're probably also reading the replies. So that means that you could potentially leverage replies to reviews to reinforce your positioning, to correct misunderstanding, to affirm core use cases, and to really help LLMs understand what your app is about. You can automate this with AppTweak's App Review Manager. A very quick shout out here or note about this. You definitely don't have to do this all manually. There's no clear proof about this, if that really has an impact, but I think it's a very nice experiment to try and to test. It also means that if review management hasn't been a big priority, maybe it should be now. Also, it's not only about replying to reviews, but also when you want to optimize your review prompt, you don't want people to leave reviews like love this app, because this doesn't give any context to the LLMs. You rather want people to leave reviews that provide context, that explain why they love the app. So you should also really optimize your review prompt to ask for this extra content or context. Second area of influence is, like we said, your own your own web presence. Sorry, so it's your web content. Often for apps and games, this hasn't been a priority, especially for games. SEO has never been really big. They don't have a very big website domain and web presence. But now in the eyes of LLM search, it's something to rethink and it's something to work on. I will not go in too much detail about this because we only have an hour today, but we released a playbook yesterday. I added here a QR code that you can scan. There's more information about, detailed information about this in this playbook. Maybe we'll do another session about this at some point. But quickly, high level, what does this mean or what do you need to pay attention to? Of course, you need to make sure that your website is accessible to AI and crawlable, that there is nothing blocking them from reading your content. Then, yeah, you should create content that explains your app and your game. So ideally, you have a product page for every app you have, for every game you have. You add FAQ pages. You publish your help documentation. It's great to publish changelog pages. Any other data and research that you have. And then, of course, you also should make sure that you structure your content for LLM extraction. LLMs, they like short paragraphs. They like the question answer format. They like when you then give an answer that you state again, you don't say the question, but you directly answer the question. You should try to reference back to your product as often as you can, or to your app as often as you can. So there is some science there to really what can you do to optimize your content to make sure that it's easier to extract for the LLMs. So more information on this in the playbook. And then the third area of visibility is more that external authority. So again, where does the AI look for proof to validate, to ground their answers? And so there's forums like Reddit. We see for games a lot. There's Wikipedia pages that they leverage. So it's very if you're a game studio and developer and your game doesn't have a Wikipedia page, it's definitely recommended to start creating one. It's also they look at editorial content and coverage. So there is all these listicles, best app for this, best app for that, but also just PR. So if you have a new feature or a new release, new storyline, definitely work on PR to get that out and to get on these publications. And then it's also comparison sites, alternatives. So even I'm not sure how long this is going to be a very strong technique or experiment, but at AppTweak, what we do, we've created a blog post, best ASO tools, best Apple Ads tools. We've created pages, AppTweak versus our competitor 1, AppTweak versus competitor 2. And so it really helps us control our narrative, how we want to be seen and referenced by AI. And it really helps us, and this is a content LLMs love. So this is a content that when they're searching the web and for sources, these are the sources that they pick up. Today, this can change, of course, but today we still see great impact from this. And so how can, for you, okay, what are the sources that LLMs are using or referencing when recommending my app? Well, you need a tool like AppTweak for this. And so on AppTweak, for every response, we show all the sources that are being leveraged in the answers that they formulate. And so you can see often indeed it is the App Store listing. But here there is a prompt about what is a popular no commitment dating app. And so they are taking content from this website called Dating News, and it's full of this kind of articles. But it's interesting to see there's also just an app that released a press release about their new website on Wired, and this content gets sourced and referenced. And so it's important that you try to understand for the topics that matter to you, for the prompts that matter to you, that what are these sources that the LLMs are sourcing from, and that you try to increase your visibility in those. Another poll quickly before we move to the next section. But what is your biggest barrier to act on AI visibility today? Maybe I just see a question here in the Q&A section. So someone asked, how can I optimize my review prompt? Can you give an example? So basically that is today when you, what are best practices? There's also more information in the playbook, but just very high level. What are best practices is that you only show the review prompt after people have completed a meaningful action. And then that you frame, so for example, after they've added an item to the cart, or after they have reached a certain level in your game, or after they've taken an action in your app. And so then it's recommended that you frame a bit your the question that shows up in the prompt, and make it a bit longer than do you like this app? So frame it more what did you enjoy the most about this app? Simon, if you want to highlight this a little bit more.
Yeah, I think in here it's sometimes be genuine with your users. Like the old tricks about prompt like review rating prompt optimization are about study when people had a positive experience to prompt them after the experience. Make sure not to do it during, but after. But when you're prompting them, something that can also be useful is explain to them. We like, would you mind just sharing a few words? This helps us do this. I think certain apps that are really good at building communities in particular do a great job there by just being genuine about why you're asking for a review and not shying away also from when people are going to be giving you not fully positive reviews. Because in fact, even that can be helpful in terms of conversion. We know that 4-star reviews sometimes help convince people to download an app more than 5 stars because 4 stars look more genuine as at least when they detail, I love the app for 3 reasons. I just wish they would do one more thing and things like that. Um, but maybe to kind of go on more of the actionables, uh, interesting to see the poll results. So 43% tell us my biggest barrier is I can't measure whether it's working. 20% don't know where to start. 20% need to make a business case. 18% are already working on it, not having barriers. So I think it's good to see there's already some people who have everything they need to get started. For those who struggle, um, I do think a major challenge is in the mindset, and because in general, what I've observed is that we've gotten too used to not I would say is a very deterministic way of measuring impact, and we're going back towards probabilistic. You should absolutely aim to measure impact. You should aim to have business cases that prove it's valuable to invest on this. But maybe something that's important is to align stakeholders first on what are is going to be the bar to clear when facing these difficulties. And for those who don't know where to start, well, hopefully you're about to learn something, and also we'll be sharing the playbook that was just published, so we should be able to help there. For
Yes,
the
and
next,
on sorry, oops, Simon, just one addition. On I can measure whether it's working. We hear this a lot, and that this is a big struggle. And so we'll also highlight this all the way at the end of this session.
of course,
And back to you, Simon. Yes, we're going
thank
to
you.
jump into the experiments.
Yeah, so the idea is if you're looking to get started, these experiments are not ranked in order of importance. They're just, for example, we want to give. As a full disclaimer, these are not apps that we've advised specifically. These are apps that we've actually spotted as performing well and potentially punching slightly above their weight when it comes to their AI visibility compared to what we would have expected of them when looking at things like app power. So for the first experiment, we want to highlight building a dedicated web page for each app. We're going to take the example of GasBuddy. Um, what GasBuddy has done essentially is made sure to optimize on their website the fact that there are multiple links pointing to their App Store page, to their Play Store page, so that there's always a proper association that can be made between the app actual presence and entities that can be further detailed on the web, detailing every single feature. I also love the fact that they have, we didn't show this much on the screenshot, but they have a plan your trip section on their website, which makes sure that they're both making great efforts to link their features to something AI can understand, but also link the benefits as well. And so having this multi mindset thinking for how does AI actually appreciate a product? How does AI fan out and understand the full workings of an app? Um, some useful things for if you're building your website, so start by having a good domain name for your app. Try to also have more than one page. If you have different value propositions, you can also link to different custom product pages, custom store listings. And then the FAQs, as you've mentioned, Alexandra, they work with a question answer pattern that AI for now seems to appreciate a whole lot. I want to be mindful that LLMs sometimes change how they value content quite quickly, but we do see that at the moment this is something very popular. So this is something we would also recommend people think about showing in uh, high value places on their websites. Switching gears to experiment number two, we've already mentioned rewriting the long description. We've already seen a bit of an example with RLO, but I think generally what's really important to understand with the long description is you need to decide what are the intent you want to do to target, that you want to see surfaced in your long description. And then you need to kind of have a double check for am I mentioning the right things and also am I using the right structure? So that's why here the screenshot we took is a placeholder. It's because the placeholder is a great way to spot the structure and understand that no matter what your content is, you can probably rewrite your long description to follow such type of structure. And of course, keep experimenting with the structure as you go, but make sure to have structured text. There's so much difference between listing multiple items with commas as separators versus actually listing them as a single, as a specific paragraph with bullet points for each item. And maybe to convince people of that, if we look at the next slide, one of the first experiments or research items I had when I started exploring what our AI visibility tool was capable of surfacing was looking at what is ChatGPT's AI visibility inside ChatGPT. And one thing that I found that was really interesting and surprising to me was that ChatGPT has excellent breadth in terms of all the different intent it can get mentioned for. But in terms of intent coverage, there are multiple intents where it's not the number one app recommended, even though it's ChatGPT recommending itself. One such type of intent was linked to professional writing. And Grammarly really outperformed ChatGPT on that particular intent, which I think is an interesting question as to whether it should be a surprise or not. I think a lot of people have heard of Grammarly. At the same time, I think a lot of people would agree Grammarly is not the company that OpenAI is at this point. But Grammarly, the team at Grammarly clearly seems to understand AI very well because here, when we compare the long descriptions between ChatGPT and Grammarly, we see that Grammarly has more content, but also they make sure to structure the content. Like even if you could not read the text on the slide right now, you would still be able to spot how the structure is much cleaner with Grammarly's long descriptions and ChatGPT's. So I think uh, if people listening to us right now are focused on ASOs, this is probably the first experiment you can do because you won't have to clear it with anyone else. You own the long description and you can just start experimenting on how do I review the structure and start seeing if you see any kind of change in how you get AI visibility after a few weeks. Experiment number 3 regards listicles. I'm sorry about the low quality of the GIF we used. I do know that why we picked this one is just because it's a great way of showing that listicles are things that exist for a lot of different things. And so it's always worth checking, is anyone writing about this? If you're thinking you have your app is in a certain niche, you can ask AI, you can go on Google old school and just ask, what are the 10 best apps for this? And see what are some of the content that are going to be surfaced. Um, we tend to think a lot about Wikipedia, Reddit when it comes to authority on the web. But in practice, there's a lot of specialized industry outlets that can also bring up topics. Pocket Gamer for mobile games is one that we've really seen pop many times for multiple types of games. And these are websites where there is a contact form. If you don't know where to start, just look for the contact form, send in a message saying you have this new app, like pitch your app essentially saying, I would love to have my app mentioned there. What are your processes? They'll definitely know why you're here, but it's also in their interest to put out content. So don't be afraid to kind of go with that cycle. And then for the last type of experiment,
Maybe Simon,
yeah.
before we go into experiment 4, there is a question in the Q&A. So comparison sites are an opportunity for me. How can I address improvements on this since I don't own these websites?
Um, yeah, basically contact them anyway. Like they won't owe you anything, but it doesn't mean they won't be willing to help either. For me, the 2 ways to deal with comparison sites, if you ever spot information that's outdated, that can happen a lot. Write to them, of course, politely, calmly, just point them out. Hey, just wanted to call out. Like I saw your website mentioned this about my app. We've actually like released a new version, so we now support this particular feature or anything like that. Uh, a lot of times these people would react to these emails, and then if it's about being mentioned at all, again, most websites for these types of sites have contact forms, so it's easy enough to send them an email. You can ask AI to help you write the email and see what happens. But to me, I think in here the most important thing is to say there's no secret formula for getting there. Of course, if like the bigger your app, the more likely you are to be heard. But even with small apps, it doesn't hurt to try. It takes very little effort. And then you can see who's responding where, what do they prioritize to actually consider you as worth their time, and work from there.
Yeah, and maybe 2 little extra tips. For sure, you can try and like reach out on a contact form or general contact address. But what we've seen works as well is reach out to the author directly, reach out to them on LinkedIn, and ask them to if you can submit an update. And then, of course, make the work as easy as possible for them. So if you're not included and you want to be included, write already the paragraph based on their style. So don't bias it just to you, based on how they've been writing the content on their site. Already provide them with a paragraph and a little pitch as to why you should be included. So try to make the work light for them, and then you increase your chances to be included.
For the last experiment, I went with something that happened long before AI. If we could zoom in, you would see the screenshot is a Reddit thread from 5 years ago. But this is the point of how you can be also genuine about this. It's if you want to get surfaced on Reddit, one thing Reddit is well known for is AMA sessions. And this is a great way to actually build content, build like get surface through Reddit. And the best way to do it is, of course, not to organize an AMA session that few people are going to be interested in, and have like don't ask all your employees to create a Reddit account, jump in, but be genuine. Consider if you want to be present on Reddit, you probably have stories to tell, you probably have questions to answers, and having a leader from your product team with Coinbase, they literally went with their CEO hosting this. This was an option, and I think like we've actually recently spoken with Reddit on the topic, and I think they also have sponsored AMA options that can also help you, so you can investigate further. For me, what's interesting with explaining a bit like the options with Reddit is generally to say the main downside is you can't go on Reddit just for a sponsored operation that screams we're doing marketing everywhere. Like you need to bring genuine content, but at the same time, you don't have to overthink it. You just have to go with what is the point you're trying to make, not to AI, but to actual humans, and you'll probably be able to get started there.
And I think that's it for the experiments. So we're at the 10 minutes left, covering the last topic. And before we start, there's again a little poll. So we'll wait a few minutes, but how are you currently tracking your app's AI visibility? Just wait a few seconds. Still see some answers coming in. Okay. Looks like 50% is not tracking it at all. Well, this is your time to get started. We have the platform for you. Then some people are using a dedicated tool or platform, and some people are running manual prompt checks occasionally. I don't really want this to be a big sales pitch, but running manual prompt checks, of course, is a bit biased. You will be biased towards how you perceive your app, how you perceive your game. If you use also a platform like AppTweak, what we do is that we run these prompts every single week. So the answers are updated every week. Answers in LLMs, they vary a lot. And so if you do this on a very automatic basis, like we do, you get a more unbiased answer than checking it manually. But yeah, let's quickly. So the last section is really here. Okay, how to measure success. And so as already highlighted at the beginning of the session, this seems to be a major question and a major hurdle for people to really get started on this. And of course, it makes sense. You need to prove the impact of your work to your team, to your manager, to the company. But what you really need to keep in mind is that measuring the impact of AEO, so answer engine optimization, or GEO, we prefer to lean now to AEO, But so measuring the impact of AEO is fundamentally different than how you were measuring or how you are measuring SEO and ASO. So with SEO and ASO, often the user journey is that they search, they click, and they install. There is some kind of attribution, even though in the organic world it's hard, but there is some kind of attribution you can work out. With AEO, it's very different. So people, they ask a question in the LLMs, they get an answer, they ask a follow-up question, and then as they chat, they form a decision. And so probably as they're like chatting, I mean, the source links to the app pages are already long gone and in the beginning of the thread. And so what they do after they form their decision, they actually visit the App Store and then they will directly download an app. So there's zero attribution there. So it's really important that you remember this is different, that you can explain to your team this is different, and that you don't withhold or keep that as a burden to get started on this. But of course, you need to track and you need to measure something. So what we advise our clients to do is to track both direct signals and indirect signals. And so for some apps and games, when they look in their App Store console, they can start seeing some traffic from AI referrers. So they see ChatGPT as a source in their referrer traffic. It's often small, and it is because it's people asking a question and immediately clicking on the link in ChatGPT is only a small portion of all the traffic that the LLMs can drive to your app. And then another direct signal that you can track is, okay, yeah, your AI visibility score. So if you leverage tools like AppTweak that monitor thousands of prompts every single week, update them, and we see and we track if your app is mentioned, that's how you, if you then see that you can increase your visibility score, that you increase how visible you are to compare to your competitors, if there are certain intents that you are working on towards, and you see that you increase your visibility on those intents, you can assume that of course your efforts are working. Then of course there are some more indirect signals you can track as well. So you can also really monitor, or you should monitor, your branded keyword performance. You should monitor traffic and downloads coming from App Store search, and you should monitor your conversion rate from App Store search. So why is this important is, like we mentioned a few times before, is that, okay, people, they search in ChatGPT, they search in the LLMs, then they will open the App Store and they will download your app. If you see that you're doing a lot of efforts, we could assume that we see branded keyword volume going up in the App Store, more people searching for your brand in the App Store. You could see if thanks to your effort, traffic from App Store search is going up. And at the same time, conversion rate is showing up, that it's likely as an impact from your AEO efforts. So remember that traffic from LLMs converts 31% higher than organic search traffic, because people come with already a decision made. So if you see that search downloads and traffic goes up, and at the same time your conversion rate goes up, you can assume this is from your LLM efforts. That is it for us today. So here's again the QR code for the AI Visibility Playbook. It covers a lot of what we discussed today, but more even. So it goes on certain topics in a little bit more details. It's a very interesting resource, of course, also to share with your team. Someone
I think
asked,
we have some questions,
yeah.
Alexandra. So I think disclaimer, with 5 minutes left on the clock, we probably won't get to every question, but do drop them in the Q&A box anyway. It's easier for us to track them in the chat, and at the same time, we can try to follow up after the webinar. For the first question from Igor, how can I check if the prompt I'm monitoring is a prompt most users are using? I would say there is no perfect way to do that, but also there's limited value in trying to check that at the prompt level. Basically, There's been studies that have been made on how do people prompt AI to begin with, and even with like fairly clear instructions, as soon as people were told, share with us the prompt you've used, it was found that with the same thing in mind, a lot of people prompt differently. And that's what actually with AppTweak, what we try to show you is a visibility score not at the prompt level, but at the intent level. It's more interesting to see when we use the prompt multiple times, what are the different answers that we saw when we use similar, like semantically close, but not exactly the same prompts, do we see different results, and kind of build an aggregate picture to then start understanding, is this something people like what do people see in the results? And when it comes to how do I know if people are searching for this, at the moment with AppTweak, what we do is that we've built a collection of prompts based on our market data, market intelligence data. So we know that what is the prompts and the intents that we track, those are based on things people were already looking for. And that does mean there's traffic. If you want to try specifically and correlate things, you can try to look for signals that aren't always guaranteed. Something we've seen with some of our clients is that in App Store Connect, we can see some clients have ChatGPT as one of the referrers bringing traffic to their store page. But then again, there's no certainty in the exact volume because ChatGPT is not a tool meant to provide links. It's a tool meant to provide text as an answer. And so a lot of times it's also going to be, do you have more brand searches, etc. Nitish is asking, can we get a summarized version of intent with AppTweak AI visibility? Uh, I want to know if someone is searching about my industry, what type of questions are they asking? Alexandra, I don't know if you want to expand on this.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, Nitij, if you've tried our AI visibility platform or not. We'll definitely put you in touch with our team, but just how it works for AppTweak. So we organize our intent, our prompts around intents. So we really have built a platform to help you understand how people are searching for apps and games to download. So it's very acquisition driven. And so, yes, you can see we summarize our prompts by intent. So if you're a dating app, you will have an intent that says no hookup datings, or you have an intent find my friends, and then within or meet with friends, and then with every intent, you can see the different prompts that are related to this intent. But I'll definitely put you in touch with our team if this was not really your question, and they can help you further.
I know we're almost at time. I want to quickly touch on one last question. We had a question from Isabel saying we already have a mobile landing page explaining all our different app features, content being more a fallback for UA campaigns. Would it be enough to add an FAQ section at the end of the landing page, or would we need extra sections? I think here this is exactly what you should experiment. Basically, if you have limited bandwidth, start by trying to just improve the one page. I do think if you have the resources, it's worth also trying to experiment having the core page as the overall landing page, but then splitting content across sub pages, like making more use of the domain to kind of give better hierarchy of information to AI. But in general, it's all about resources at this point. Like you could change things, you can create content forever. And so what's important is to understand what impact do you expect out of it, how much resource can you attribute to the project as a result. So if today the situation is you've only built one page, I would say start by just trying to add a little bit to that page. And if you don't see strong signals that this is helping, then look for what is the more ambitious effort you can do next to try and move the needle.
Mhm. Well, I think that's it for us. Thank you very much. There will be many more sessions coming, so we hope to see you again there and answer all your questions. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.